From where I sit, Exude Confidence just keeps getting better and better. And in this video, I'm going to argue why, especially at a very reasonable $3 price point, that every Flesh and Blood player should grab a playset. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Every Flesh and Blood player should have a playset of Command and Conquer. And while yes, that's probably true, it's also not a practical ask. But today's card, I think, is different. Hello everyone, and welcome to Dice Commando and Go Again, a fabulous cast. Thanks for tuning in once again. Today, talking about this little card, Exude Confidence, which is awesome. This card is awesome, and I want to explain to you why. Right now, disclaimer of this is I have no financial stake in it. I have not bought up 10 million copies of this and am sitting on it waiting for suckers to go out and make me a bunch of money. Even if I had been, let's be honest, we don't have enough reach here to actually matter anyway, right? So what I'm really doing here is I'm trying to explain to new players, right, newer players, why I really think you should have 3 of this card. And part of this was inspired by, I did that recent Dorinthea Saber dagger video where I was talking about the power of the 0-4s, and someone made a comment, it's like, well, I don't have all the money to get all the cool 0-4s. And that's completely, absolutely 100% fair feedback. And for those of you who've watched this channel for a long time, you guys know that I'm actually on board with that philosophy, right? Whether you can or you can't, it doesn't mean you shouldn't. You should go buy a $100 card or 3 of them or surgical extractions or whatever it may be, right? Got a lot of hate for that video, but also a lot of love because I think the majority of you guys who are here get it. So this card, why I love it, I'll put it up right now. $3 price point. Okay, $3 price point. That means you could pick up 3 of these bad boys for, let's see, carry the $7, $9-ish. And in most cases, if you're buying from the right person, it's free shipping, right? Or you can probably trade for a boatload of these. I was very, very fortunate. I actually got a playset just from the Monarch that I'd opened. And I've had them ever since, and I guess maybe that's the reason I haven't been so high on this card before, is I've always just had them. But again, it's not worth all that much money, so there's nothing to write home about, right? So let's talk about this card, why I think this card is so great. So Exude Confidence is a 0-4. That in itself is good. Only defends for 2, which is kind of a bummer, but it's got that ability. So while it isn't defended by a card with equal or greater attack, the defending hero can't play or activate instants or defense reactions this combat chain, right? So that carries for the entire chain, not just this attack, not just this chain link. It carries for the entire chain. Now, this doesn't have Go Again, so in theory, it's ending there, but there are ways to give this Go Again. In my Bravo deck, we'll talk about the Bravo combo, I actually played Snapdragon. Actually, it wasn't my Bravo. It was my Valda deck. I was playing Snapdragon Scalers because it was fun, right? The thread of that into Anathos, right? But then we have instant for 3, so pitch a blue to it, essentially. Exude Confidence case +2. Activate this ability only while it is attacking, right? So you couldn't mess stuff up or you couldn't use it to defend with and be a popper, right? Because remember, it did come in Monarch when we saw the introduction of Phantasm. I'm pretty sure that's why that was there. Either way, right? So let's just talk about the instances in which I've really used this card to success. The first and most basic is Ninja, right? Ninja plays a lot of blues, specifically 0 blues for the Kodachi lines. And yes, I'm talking, the traditional ninjas are Iras and are Katsus. For an intro player, a lot of players are on Katsu's the top 5 video. Katsu's like number 3. Ira is where a lot of players learn Blitz for the first time. And you do Kodachi, some other card, and come with this one, right? Even if you're only coming with this one, that's a 2-card hand at minimum to go stab for 1, stab for 2 with Ira, and then come 0-4. And if you have any other cards in your hand, your opponent has to assume that those are blues. Do they defend or not? I don't know. But that's why I love this card. So many times you'll throw this out on its own with a couple cards in hand. Do you have blues? Do you not? Do they have to overblock? If they overblock, so what? Arsenal the card, save the other card, whatever it may be. Move forward with your life. If they don't, boom, attacking for 8. No D-reacts. Bummer for you. Card is really, really, really great. And it's also really, really, really fun because you get to do that bluff thing, right? I love the bluff and the playing your opponent part of this game. I do love that. Let's also talk, like I said, I used to use it in Velda. And I was doing this, I was using Snapdragon Scalers instead of the Mage Master Gucci boots, right? So I was not doing the Tome of Final play, I was doing this. And the reason I love this was because this into Anathos, you could drop this down with 2 3+ blues in your hand, and by that I mean 3 cost blues in your hand. You could pitch one to this, then pitch one to Anathos. That's a 6/6 with the Snappies play. It's pretty cool in Blitz. That's not too bad for a 3-card hand. Furthermore, we already talked about it in the Dagger Dory play, or any other deck you might want to use, any other deck where you're running a larger concentration than average of blues. And by average concentration, right, most decks are running 15, 18, somewhere in that range, unless you're like an all-red deck, then you're running less. But many decks are running kind of that 12 to 15 to 18 range. But your blue concentration heavy, they're going to be running more than that, right? Guardians are sometimes running more than 50% blues because that's what they want to do. They need the cash. Blues are good for them, and so on. You guys get it. Seems like a really, really great card in a lot of those builds. So again, just does this go into absolutely every deck in Flesh and Blood? Absolutely not. It is not the same as Command and Conquer where you're trying to jam it in like 95% of your decks. But this card's very, very, very utility. And I highly recommend you go get it because it's a lot of fun to use. It's very, very good in a lot of your decks. And it's $3. $3. So anyway, let me know if you agree, what you guys are thinking. Hopefully many of you who are existing players probably already have this, and maybe you're like me, you didn't even really think about it. But man, this card is awesome, right? So when I hear new players saying, well, I don't have all the 0 blue or the 0/4s at my access, all the cool cards, I hear you. I don't think you should spend $150 for CNC out of the gate. I don't think you should do it. I do think you should spend $9 for a playset of this one. Let me know if you agree or not. If nothing else, folks, go Commando.